Yo, what's going on, everybody? Merk back here with some more league match action, and this is going to be MPL Season 4, Week 5, and we're going to be taking on Melon, not Bluesy, coach of the, what's his team name? I forget his it's the Exeter Chief Electivires. He's another GPC guy that we've played before. Did we play him? Whatever. He's a GPC guy. We played him last season. We beat him pretty handily that time, I believe, or maybe it was a 2-0 or something. I forget exactly. But he took over for Bluesy, who left the league for reasons that I don't especially agree with, but that's not important. And he inherited a kind of disgusting team, well, in some factors. So his team is Volcanion, Garchomp, which are both the Z-move mons, Shaman, Klefki, Mienshao, Electros, Mandibuzz, Uxie, Alone Sandslash, Lycanroc, Midnight, and Yanmega. And for our game, we decided that we could use our updated team. So instead of Lycanroc Midnight, he has the Sundoggo Lycanroc, and he has a Heracross instead of Yanmega. So that I prepped for the team before he made these changes, but the drops really didn't affect how I planned too much, really. So it wasn't a big deal. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but in this league, Z-moves are any non-boost, any Z-move except the ones that are omni-boosting or boost your accuracy. So that's cool. And if you don't remember what my team is, it's Tapu Koko, Roserade, Gliscor, Goodra, Suicune, Alakazam, Staraptor, Breloom, Salazzle, Spiritomb, and Dugtrio. This will be my last game that I have Spiritomb before I get my Metagross, which is cool. And yeah, so things to note about his team: it doesn't have a lot of recovery. He's got some spike stacking, which looks very enticing versus a team like mine that does not have very good hazard removal. I have Gliscor and Staraptor to get rid of those, so that's not very good. So I knew he was going to try and hazard stack me. And for the most part, I should be able to switch into his entire team pretty well, since Gliscor and Goodra, for the most part, do a good job. But I know he can have some techs, and he can wear down my Goodra, so I definitely wanted to make sure that I could deal with his whole team. And I also saw that it's pretty slow. Everything's weaker than Koko, which is good, and Koko just completely demolishes him. So let's check out the team that I decided to make. And the 6 I brought are Tapu Koko, Gliscor, Goodra, Dugtrio, my Staraptor, and Alakazam. So a few quick notes: I did expect a Rocky Helmet Garchomp for my Staraptor because it's his best switch in, because it chips away a ton. And I'm definitely expecting Klefki to come because I don't have a good defogger on my team, so spikes would naturally be very good, especially since I have mons like Goodra that are needed to switch into like his Volcanion. Also, I knew that he was going to run either Shed Shell or Magnet Rise on his Klefki because I have a Dugtrio and a Gliscor, and so most likely Magnet Rise so that he can better deal with those. So I was expecting all of that stuff. And with that, let's get into the team. So first off, we got Tapu Koko. This is a mixed spread with enough speed for, I believe, anything creeping on my base 100 Staraptor. I think that's what I went with. And then 76 attack Naughty and max special attack was the best EV optimization I could get. The attack guarantees that, I'm T-Bolt, HP Ice, Brave Bird, U-Turn with Flying EMZ. The Z Brave Bird is guaranteed to knock out Shaman, and if he's a defensive set after rocks, it's guaranteed to kill it, which is really good. Then HP Ice is there for the Garchomp, and then T-Bolt hits the rest of his team really hard, and then U-Turn for some momentum against him. So that's really good. This set just puts in a lot of offensive pressure against his team. I'm expecting to see the Electros because it's his best switch into it, since I can't really touch the Eel too much. So but the thing with Eel is that it doesn't have great recovery, and I'm expecting Assault Vest, so I can definitely chip away at that. Next, we got my Sand Snipper. Gliscor, rocking a cool set. Toxic Orb with the Poison Heal, of course. Roost, EQ, Swords Dance, Stone Edge with 204 HP. That's to hit a Toxic Orb number. A lot of defense, and then enough speed to outrun Timid Volcanion, or maybe it was Modest. I forget which one. I was expecting Modest, I think. So if he was going to run offensive. so I decided that would be a pretty good investment just to be able to outrun it. Sword Stance is very good against his team, because if you look at his team, Edgequake does very, very well. I really did want to run like Knockoff or Ice Fang over Stone Edge, but I really wanted Edge to be able to hit the Mandibuzz for as much damage as I could, because that would have been a very annoying Mon to my team. So having Knockoff possibly would have been better, but Stone Edge was a better catch-all for his team, so I'm fine with it. Next, we got Slime Slipper, Assault Vest Goodra with a little bit of speed to outrun. What was it? I totally forget what it was meant to outrun. Maybe it was for Mandibuzz? Or maybe it was just for like a little speed, so that if he was running speed on his Volcanion, he wouldn't be outrunning me. I honestly forget, but I have T-Bolt, Fire Blast, Draco, Meteor, and Dragon Pulse with max special attack, modest, and the rest in HP. This is my check to Volcanion. And that's about it. Like, I guess it just checks special attackers on its team, which is pretty nice since my team doesn't have great Spadef outside of Goodra. So this is a nice check to those. I won't say it's a counter, because he does have the ability of spikes. He's got rocks. He can toxic things. He can run mixed on things like the Volcanion. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a physical Z move to just kind of blow me back. But this is a good catch to that. And it's a decent offensive presence against his team. Like, he doesn't want to switch into T-Bolt, Fire Blast, Draco very much. It's a good way to chip down the Electros, that kind of thing. You feel me. Next, we got Lizard Boys. Focus Sash with Arena Trap, of course. Stealth Rock, EQ, Toxic, Stone Edge. Hitting the same speed tier as Tapu Koko, which is just getting on things that are trying to be 1 point or 2 points above my Staraptor. And then max attack, and then some HP, because HP on a Focus Sash Mon, you know, counterintuitivity is best, if that's a word. Toxic's great for like the Mandibuzz and defensive Garchomp and Uxie and those things. I opted to go that over coverage, and then Stone Edge is there to get a little chip damage on like Heracross and Mandibuzz and those kind of guys. So this is a nice Mon. If he's not Magnet Rise Klefki, then this thing can just get rid of it. This can get rid of a Lycanroc if he knocks out one of my Mons, because Lycanroc with a Choice Band or something or SD is a pretty big threat. I can take a +2 Accelerock with my spread, I believe, so that's cool. And this is just a nice utility Mon. I mainly wanted it here for rocks because I didn't want to run Stealth Rocks on Gliscor, but there wasn't a whole lot of things else I'd want on the team, and the Arena Trap is just a nice, it's nice for the team. Next, we've got a little bit of heat in these last two Mons. First off, we got Dontavion, the real Staraptor nickname, with Lefty's Intimidate, Roost, Defog, Brave Bird, Toxic, Max Fizz Def Staraptor. You know it, boys. It's coming. So this is here to lure out like Tank Chomp and get a Toxic off on it and wear it down so that it can be put in range of the Tapu Koko. I can sort of check like his fighting types, Mienshao and Heracross with this set. They don't 2-hit KO me if they're not choice banded, so that's cool. And it's just a nice thing, and most importantly, it gives me Defog, because I need Defog against this team, because my team's pretty weak to hazards, and he has the Klefki, which can very easily hazard stack against me, because I'm fully expecting the Magnet Rise, and my team does not have a ton of ways to hit it very hard, because I know that I'm not going to be able to EQ it. So I've got my Tapu Koko, which can hit it, and my Goodra, which can hit it. So having a way to mitigate the Klefki's effectiveness against my team is good. And just Brave Bird as a stab is pretty nice. It's still very strong. And yeah, with Intimidate and Max Fizz Def, Max HP, this thing has pretty respectable bulk. It can switch into a fair bit of his physical attackers, so I thought it was a cool bring, and might as well. And lastly, we've got a little more heat to make sure that I could check any potential Choice Scarfers. I'm bringing Choice Scarfed Alakazam. Scoot, shout out to him, he's a cool guy, Zamcrow. Magic Guard, of course, with Psychic, Focus Blast, HP Ice, Shadow Ball, 116 HP, max special attack, and enough speed to once again outspeed stuff trying to creep on my Staraptor. So this set's nice for if he brings offense, because I'm pretty sure that he's not going to expect a Scarf Zam. And if we can do something like if we have a turn 1 matchup like Mienshao versus Alakazam, I'm pretty confident he'd be Scarfed. And if I can catch a Mienshao trying to U-turn turn 1 with a Psychic, that would be incredible for me. So it's kind of a lure. a really nice revenge killer, so that if he's bringing like Z Sandstorm, Garchomp, then as long as I hit, I can knock it out with HP Ice after a little bit of chip damage and that sort of thing. It's a nice revenge killer against his team, and that's kind of why I want it. So we got a little spiciness this week, and with that, let's hop over to the battle. So unfortunately, due to genning mishaps on both sides, we're going to be playing this match on Showdown. I would like to play on Wi-Fi, but Showdown's fine. It's my turf. It's my home territory, so I'm cool with that. And the 6 he ended up bringing were Volcanion, Klefki, Uxie, Electros, Garchomp, and Lycanroc. So first off, he didn't bring either of his fighting types, which is really good. Lycanroc's kind of spooky. Volcanion and Garchomp can be very spooky. He has 3 potential rockers in the Uxie and the Garchomp and the Lycanroc, but I definitely did expect to see Stealth Rocks on a Tank Chomp here because it makes the most sense since it's his best switch into like Banded Staraptor, because Klefki takes a lot of damage from a Choice Banded Close Combat or a Double Edge. So knowing all of that, and also seeing that Tapu Koko outsped his whole team, I wanted to lead off with it, mainly to scout if he had a Scarf Garchomp, because I was pretty confident he'd want to lead off with something like that. And if I can just kind of U-turn out against most of his team. So let's hop into it. I'm going to lead off with Koko. He is going to lead off with Garchomp. I'm going to switch hard out into my Gliscor, seeing if he's Scarfed. I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into my Gliscor as he also switches out. So that shows me I'm faster than him, which is good to know. And what I'm going to do right here is just go for the Stone Edge and get some chip damage off. I was pretty sure he wouldn't go for the HP Ice turn 1 if he had it. And if he did, then I messed up. But I'm going to miss the Stone Edge, which is unfortunate because I want chip damage off on this thing for my Tapu Koko. Because since I know he's not a Scarf Garchomp, Tapu Koko's matchup is amazing against him. So I'm going to miss as he goes for the U-turn, which is kind of whatever. I'm still going to have my thing at full as he's going to be able to go out into Volcanion. Now I'm going to hard switch into my Goodra because I'm not ready to make any hard plays yet, as he's going to go right for the Toxic. So that tells me he's not Specs or anything, which is good. If I stayed in and clicked EQ twice, I would have been a Lord, but I wasn't ready for that. And here I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast, trying to catch the Klefki as he goes into Eel, and now trying to get more chip damage off on the Electros. I'm going to go for the Draco, but he is going to make the smart play into his Klefki now, so that was very good pivoting on his part. I did kind of consider that he might do something like this, but he also could have easily gone into like Uxie, and I wanted to fire off a Draco if I could, so Goodra's already taken a lot of damage, which isn't great for me, but I can live with it. I can still take a lot of hits from the Volcanion if I'm smart about it. And what I'm going to do here is just go into my Koko because I'm expecting the Magnet Rise or the double switch out, and we're going to get switched right back into our turn 1 match, which is Garchomp versus Tapu Koko. And now that I know he's not Scarfed, I'm going to click U-turn to scout what his item is, because I'm pretty sure it's Rocky Helmet, but I want to guarantee, and I don't really mind taking the Rough Skin Rocky Helmet to see. So I'm going to go right for that U-turn. I'm going to take the Rough Skin, and I am going to take the Rocky Helmet. So I take a lot of chip damage, but it's good because now I know what his set is, and now I can just go hard into my Staraptor, expecting him to be a defensive Chomp. So Dragon Claw is going to come in at -1. That bounces off completely as I'm going to be able to defog. So Staraptor, defensive, already doing some nice work against him. So he's going to lay up rocks again as I'm going to click Toxic here. And Toxic's great because now it's going to let me get more chip damage off on it. And basically I need that Garchomp, assuming he's fully physically defensive, which I think is what he is, I need him at about 60% or less to guaranteed knock him out with an HP Ice from my Tapu Koko. So that's kind of the stitch. I'm going to click Defog here because I do not want rocks on my field. As he goes hard into Lycanroc, good read, knows that I cannot touch him at this point. So I'm going to go hard into my Gliscor, and knowing I can take any hit, he goes for the Stone Edge, and he shows that he is banded. Thanks to Poison Heal, I can take 2 of those, but not comfortably, and I'm forced to roost up, and he's going to go hard into his Uxie. So now I know that he's not Rocks Uxie, so he could have something interesting here, but I know he can't really touch me. So what I'm going to do is throw up a Swords Dance and put some pressure on him as he reveals Sub. So that makes me think Sub Calm Mind. He could have like HP Ice, but I doubt it. He's going to go right ahead for the Psyshock, and that just doesn't do very much. So it shows he's not invested in any way. And what I can do right here is, I believe I go for the SD again. I kind of thought the Klefki might come in trying to Magnet Rise, as I'm at +3 right now, or +4. So Klefki coming in was a smart play, and this just telegraphs to me that he is Magnet Rise, which I already knew. So I'm just going to go and hard switch out into my Coco right here, because I know the Magnet Rise is coming out, and Tapu Koko gets me a lot of initiative. So he goes for the Rise, and I don't want to make a prediction just yet in the game because I'm not fully confident in how he's playing, but he's going to go right into Garchomp, as it's immune of course, but I'm okay with this because he's taking the damage from the Toxic, putting him slowly in range of HP Ice, and I have an easy switch into it with my Staraptor. So I'm going to go right into it. Get the Intimidate off. I can defog if he wants to set up rocks. He's going to pull the double out, however, and go into his Eel, which is kind of threatening to my team, especially since I don't want my Goodra taking all that much chip damage. So I'm going to go into my Dougie, predicting an electric move, but he's going to go for the U-turn, which is not fantastic for me, but I'm still out of range of a Accelerock from that Life Orb Lycanroc. So if Lycanroc comes in and gets a kill, then I just come back in with Dougie and I can get rid of it, so that's good. And now this Uxie comes back in, and I don't want to deal with sub stuff, so this is why I have Toxic. So I'm just going to fire off the Toxic, knowing he's probably going to want to just lay up a sub. So that's going to be really good for me, as I can basically pretty much make this thing worthless, because my Gliscor should be able to wall it, especially if it's Toxic, and he's just going to be getting chipped down. So he goes for the Psyshock, it bounces off of my Gliscor, and here I can just go for the Swords Dance. If I was being real, I could have clicked EQ predicting the Klefki, but he is going to go into the Electros instead. So I go for the SD, and I want to scout for the HP Ice now, and though he didn't show it earlier, so I didn't think he had it, I'm going to go into my Staraptor, but he's going to hard switch into the Klefki once again, so very confident in switching the Klefki into a ground type. And here I'm going to click Brave Bird because I want to see what his item is. And he shows that he is actually lefties, so if it wasn't lefties, then I would have been able to spam Brave Bird against it and slowly whittle it down, which would have been nice for me, but lefty was definitely the best. I got interrupted there for a second, but yeah, I'm trying to chip this thing down with Brave Bird a little bit, and also keep rocks off, or keep the spikes off my side of the field, because spikes are really bad for my Coco and my Goodra, and even my Dougie to an extent, because it could put me in range of an Accelerock. So I'm going to Brave Bird again here to get more chip damage off, because I want to try and keep this thing low. And he is going to reveal that his attacking move is Flash Cannon. So we've seen 3 moves. I don't know what the third one is yet, but now I'm going to be able to defog and get rid of those, as he's going to Flash Cannon. My Brave Birding isn't really going to gain me that much ground, because I'm spending a lot of turns giving him free health with defogs and roosts and stuff. So I'm going to get back up to health, and basically I don't want hazards up on my side of the field. I do not want them. But I'm going to go for the Brave Bird now, because the only thing that can really come in and take advantage of me that much is the Lycanroc, and I can just hard into Gliscor on it because I'm at full. And even if he goes into Eel, then that's great for me, because it's taking chip damage and putting himself in range of Coco, and that just works for me. So he Flash Cannons, I Brave Bird, get some more chip damage off on it, trying to keep it out of full health. And I'm going to defog once again. He's going to Flash Cannon again, and I'm just forced to roost back up here. Now would have been a pretty cool time to go for the Brave Bird. Wait, no, not here, but on some of these turns I considered going for Brave Bird, trying to catch the Electros, but it's not really worth it. And now he's going to finally switch out into his Eel, as I'm just going to go for the Brave Bird actually, not defog. And because I'm not at full health, I can roost on this thing and try and play some mind games, because I take away my flying typing, and getting that damage off is very nice. So I'm at the point where one more Brave Bird will put this thing in range of a hit for my Coco, which is really, really good. And here I'm going to click Roost, take away my flying type so I can take the Thunderbolt. And that does a lot, showing he's max special attack, but I think he's going to U-turn here, so I'm going to click Roost again, because I can take the Thunderbolt, and I am going to get the play right as he does U-turn, so that's nice for me, as he's now going to go out into his Volcanion. Now this is scary, because my Volcanion switch-in is kind of neutered, and my Goodra, because I'm taking 12, and then I'm going to take 6 from the Poison, and the Steam Eruption does 10, 9.8% to be exact, so that shows me he is not invested at all, telling me he's a defensive set. So what I want to do here now Knowing that this thing's defensive, it's not as big a threat to my team, I'm just going to fire off the Draco Meteor. It's my strongest move to hit it with. It's even stronger than T-Bolt, if you don't know, because it's Stab Draco, and get a lot of damage off. And that shit basically bounces off. That's a max Bedef Volcanion, as he goes for the Roar, interestingly enough, as I'm going to go into my Gliscor. Now, if he's max Bedef, it's about a mid-roll for me to knock it out with this Gliscor's Earthquake. So I'm going to go for it. Well, I actually didn't check the damage. I was just confident, okay, I'm going to EQ and this thing is going to die. So I click EQ and he doesn't die. And that turns out in the end to be about a 50-50 roll. And he got in his favor and he's going to be able to kill my Gliscor with the Steam Eruption. So if I played that a little better and didn't let my thing die, then I would have, in the long run, been better off, but I can still win without my Gliscor because of how much his team is weakened. I can see that Coco can win pretty soon. So now I'm going to bring in my Zam and just get a kill with Psychic. He doesn't want to risk his Klefki with like a prediction and me going for a Hidden Power or a Focus Blast right here. So now he's going to go into Klefki and I want to see what it can do because I'm convinced he can't touch me, and he reveals Light Screen as his last move. So that was a good bring. Making it so Psychic just can't really do much. Also, I knew that Flash Cannon just wasn't going to do anything because Klefki's weak and Zam has respectable special bulk. And I'm Scarf, so I don't care about taking damage anyways because I'm going to die to anything, basically. But I'm going to switch out and go into my Staraptor now because I can defog, get rid of the Light Screen, and get rid of the Spike. He's going to go Flash Cannon. Thankfully, no drops in this so far. And I'm just going to be able to defog and get rid of all of his stuff as he's going to go into the Lycanroc. So now that I don't have Gliscor, obviously I lack a switch into Lycanroc. However, if he kills something with Lycanroc, I know he's choice banded, so I can come right back in with my Dugtrio and just revenge kill it. So he's basically forced to sack it off if he wants to get a kill with this thing. I'm going to get rid of my least useful mod at this point, which is my Goodra, and he's going to get rid of it with an Accelerock, but I know my Dougie can take the hit unless he crits me. I take it on 16, and I can knock him out with the Earthquake. So the biggest threat to my team in this Lycanroc is now gone, which is very, very good. And even though we're even, I feel like I'm in a winning position because my team has recovery and his does not, and I believe I can chip down his team. So I don't want to sack off my Dougie just yet. It would be nice for a little bit of chip damage on his team. And I do have my Staraptor, which can just switch in. So I'm actually going to go into my Coco expecting the Magnet Rise, because what other play would he make? Because this gets me more momentum, because I can just click T-Bolt. Even if he goes into Garchomp, he's taking the poison damage and putting himself in range. So after this T-Bolt, he's down to 68%, and it would take a medium to high roll to knock him out right here, and I am not going to risk that at all, because Coco is the win condition at this point. So I'm just going to go right back into Staraptor. He doesn't really have anything that super threatens me, and now after taking that second round of poison, he gets his rocks up, but now he is 100% in range of my HP Ice, which is fantastic. So right away I'm just gonna click defog because I want the rocks off. I do not want hazards on my side of the field, and against this Uxie I don't really care what it does because I can just click Brave Bird against it. He's going to go into his Electros, which is kind of a questionable play. No, I go for the Roost. I should have just gone for the Brave Bird right there. That would have been the best play because I actually 2-hit KO'd this Electros, and then Staraptor could just kind of solo the rest of his team. But it's not what we do. So now I'm forced to switch out because I can't Roost, and I'm going to go into my Dugtrio, predicting the Thunderbolt, of course, and either that or sacking it off. I didn't really mind. And what I can do is click Stone Edge. If he decides to stay in, then Stone Edge puts him in range of any hit from my Coco, and if not, then I just force him out, and that's fine. So I'm going to click Stone Edge as he goes out into his Uxie, and this means that I still don't have to sack off my Dougie, which is good. I get a little chip damage off, and I'm pretty sure that Staraptor is a free switch into this thing at this point. So he goes for the Side Shock, it does nothing, and now I can just click Brave Bird, and he doesn't have anything that wants to switch into it really. Like Klefki can take it, but Klefki can't 1v1 me, so I'm gonna actually crit him with the Brave Bird and get rid of him. It doesn't matter in the long run because he couldn't touch me, but that's fine. So now he's going to go into the Electros as I'm going to Roost up, just seeing what he wants to do, as he is going to go for the Flamethrower right here. And now I'm going to go back into Dugtrio, either sacking it to the Flamethrower or being able to get off another hit if he elects to leave it in. and goes for or if he elects to Thunderbolt. So he's going to Flamethrower and get rid of it, which is fine, because now I can go into my Alakazam and try and get the necessary chip damage off against him. But he is actually going to fodder off his Garchomp here, as 2 Psychics will easily knock it out, which is equally fine with me because it's getting rid of 1 less Mon. And now it's my 3 against his 2. So I'm in a good spot here. I'm in a very good spot. He's going to Light Screen. I'm just going to click Psychic. I don't really need Zam for anything aside from Differential. So I'm going to click Psychic a few times just to get a little more chip damage off. See if he wants to double around. And waste the Light Screen turns a little bit. So we Flash Cannons. And now I'm going to switch out into my Staraptor here. And at this point in the battle, I believe I'm pretty free to just start clicking Brave Bird and Roost and all that good stuff. I'm going to Roost right here, as he is going to go out into his Electros. Now here was a point where I did consider going for the Brave Bird, and if I did that, then I would have been able to 2-hit KO the Electros and then just get a 3-0 victory. But I'm going to go for the Brave Bird now, just sacking off my Staraptor, because Light Screen's going to wear off. He's going to knock me out with T-Bolt, but he is now in range of my Coco, and now Coco just wins the game. So I'm going to go into it, I'm going to click my Z move just to show it off, and go for the Supersonic Sky Strike, just kind of, you know, flexing my set a little bit. And down goes the Electros finally, and turn 61, I'm finally going to be able to wrap up this game, as the next few Thunderbolts will be able to knock out the Klefki. Even though he's got the Light Screen, he just is losing too much HP to potentially win this 1v1, even though Flash Cannon did quite a bit of damage. Yeah, 3 Thunderbolts is going to be able to do the job, and yeah, that's the game. So hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a very, very long game. I ended up taking it 2-0, which makes it my first victory in the MPL over Melon. So yeah, that was a really good game, really fun game. I definitely made some misplays. I could have possibly saved some things and made some misreads and that sort of thing, but we ended up winning the game. That, in the end, that's what matters to me. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.